Get in, nerds, for playing Victoria 3. We are still trying to get this whole single-party state thing happening, and at the same time, we're hoping that we can make sure that this revolution doesn't pop off, because I really would like this not to pop off. But we'll see. There's a diplomatic play going on with the Japanese shogunate, where they're having a military revolt. And Great Britain is getting wild in Yemen. Go up in speed here. We got some small civil wars here in various areas. I think the plan is going to be, if we can get a success on this, then we'll go through with it. Otherwise, we'll probably back out and, if we can get a success this pass, we'll go through with it. Otherwise, we'll back out and try to do something about this, because I think this is like at the core of what's currently going on. I think ideally my ideal outcome would actually be to switch to mass conscription. Only the armed forces would be really upset about this. So I think it'll make the trade unions happier, and I'm hoping the rural folk will tolerate it. The revolution moved a little bit. This is stressful, this whole situation here. I just had to go to bed at the end of the last session, but we're back in it again, as you can tell, because Glory to the Queen is playing. And yeah, we're just trying to keep it all together here. Still doing a lot of construction. All this stuff. Okay, so we're in voting now. So let's do a little math. We got 216 days. This is 17% progress. Every 8 weeks we get this bar. 8 weeks is 50. So we're going to get another 3. 8 weeks is 56. So it's going to take four passes through this. That's going to be 68%. It's going to be close, and we're going to need to get lucky if we can do this before the revolution pops off. But we're going to try it. We're going to try to make it happen. And if we don't succeed in the voting stage, we're just going to bail, because that's the only thing that's going to happen. So, the intelligentsia have issued demands. They've written a manifesto demanding the government make certain concessions in order to protect the public welfare and preserve liberty. If not, they hint that more drastic actions may be taken. We prefer to win with words, but words can implore reason or extol action. Praxis follows theory. If you need ideas, we have them. If not, someone else is surely in need. They make a strong case for concessions. This makes them stronger and happier. They make a strong case for nothing at all. This makes them part of the insurrection. Or they make a strong case for their own imprisonment. This makes them much weaker, but also makes them very angry. I'm going to go with the first one. So far, they're not part of this situation, and them being happier is good for me. Got 4 more years on exile, so I can't do that. And that's the only event. Alright, so get that going again here. Yep. The whole situation is spreading, but we have a synthetic solution. Surely there are places we can export all of this grain that we've got to. Places where grain is expensive? At least a little bit? No. It's rough. It's rough, friends. We do have a little bit of a shortage of wood. So we can switch some of our wood buildings over to the electric production method. Let's go ahead and grab all of our ones in North Africa. And we'll grab some of the ones. We'll start doing the ones in France. How much electricity does that cost? Not a lot. 5 per level, it looks like. Oof, the electricity shortage is pretty real. If we convert all of them, how much will that change things? 2.22k more electricity, 17k more wood. So where are we with wood? That would actually pretty much fulfill the need and bring this back to middle. But I'm not going to do that all at once because I don't want to cause that all to go completely sideways. I'm not going to do chainsaws. I almost never do chainsaws. We'll see if this becomes the run in which I do chainsaws. But for now, we'll just grab a bunch. I'm just going down from the top here, friends. It's going to make these buildings much, much more profitable. Yes, 5 weeks. Cool. So if we can get pretty lucky, I think we might be able to pass single-party state. And then we'll be able to grab... We'll be able to start doing something to cause them to ease off of this business. So how's the wood situation going? Still not as good as it could be. We're also a little short on sugar, which is a surprise. Where do we produce sugar? A lot of places we can't expand sugar plantations. Tragic. But it is what it is. Alright, what do you got for me? What do you got for me, Revolution? The Rebels' Doctor. Right. So this is... You've seen this event before. This is the Doctor one. So I'm choosing between... I'm going to progress the Revolution by minus 5%. But I'm going to choose between 20% of academics in Burgundy becoming more radical and 2% of academics in the whole of France becoming more radical. So the question is, what do we have in Burgundy? My French geography is still not as great as I wish it was, but we're getting better. I say we, I mean I'm getting better. Let me see, we have 24 government admin. Level 1 university. I think we can risk... And we see no labor, no academics being employed here, none here. Yeah, I think we're good. Investigate the medical profession in Burgundy. And that slows down the revolution a little longer. Another 8 weeks, that's another basically third of this tracker here. How's our infamy doing? 19.0. Okay, we're doing pretty well with that overall. Let's see. How's the wood situation? Still difficult? Alright, well let's convert a few more. And how's the electricity situation? Still difficult. Alright, we'll convert a few more of these logging camps into proper electric sawmills. Let me see how much more we got. Okay, we got quite a few more. The new electric ones are still profitable. Okay, they're starting to go down in profitability now. So we'll wait and leave it there where it is. Building a ton of more railways. After that... Let me see, where are we with research? Okay, we're going for NCO training. We got 7 more months on that. And then it's going to be steam turbine. Steam turbine is going to be a big get. So after that, we're going to go with... Okay. The Esterhazy trial. Insisting that Albert Dreyfus has been falsely convicted, his supporters have identified Ferdinand Walson Esterhazy as the likely culprit. Esterhazy, however, has now been acquitted by the armed forces in a closed-door trial, subsequently shaving his mustache and fleeing the country. In summary, not only did we intercept a letter from the military attaché addressed directly to Esterhazy, not only does his handwriting fit the bordereau much better than Dreyfus's, and not only is he neck-high in debt, but the man admits his contempt for France and her army in writ. Honorable generals, do you not truly see what I see? Monsieur le Capitaine, we see only a man overstepping his bounds. The true culprit has already been caught, his treacherous nature exposed for all to see. Consider this a closed matter. Highly suspicious, triggers the event J'accuse in 7 days, or surely the armed forces know what they're doing. Triggers the event J'accuse. Okay, so J'accuse happens either way, but for this one, they lose political strength. Unity of rights, they're at 15%. I'm going to do this one. Well, I don't know. I'm going to do this one to weaken the army a little bit. And we'll see what happens from there. Huh, Esterhazy. This is an historical character. Where are you currently? Can I see what you're currently doing? The spilling of... No, well, okay. So there's J'accuse. We'll do that first, and then we'll do the spilling of noble blood. A scathing newspaper opinion has been published in the newspaper L'Aurore by Émile Zola, accusing the French government and the armed forces of anti-Semitism in the unlawful conviction of Alfred Dreyfus. I accuse the 3 handwriting experts of having made false and fraudulent reports, unless a medical examination declares them suffering from vision and judgment disease. I accuse the war offices of having carried out in the press an abominable campaign to mislead public opinion and cover up their fault. Finally, I accuse the First Council of War of having violated the law by condemning an accused with unrevealed evidence. And I accuse the Second Council of War of having covered this illegality by order by committing in turn the legal crime of knowingly acquitting a culprit. A spark lit now comes the blaze. The Dreyfus affair is added to the journal. Dreyfus's case strength increases by 1. Interesting. Or the truth is on the march, nothing will stop it. This is available because we conducted an early inquiry. Adds the Dreyfus affair. Dreyfus's case strength increases by 1. As the government conducted an early inquiry, Dreyfus's case strength increases by an additional 1. So I'm going to go with the second one. I feel like Dreyfus's case being stronger is good. The spilling of noble blood. A minor member of the French nobility has been assassinated by revolutionary forces at his estate in Holland. The surviving members of his family are demanding reprisals. There was a shot, a cry, and then everything was still, but for the anguished woman's sobs that would emerge from the parlor a moment later. We have a lot of events today, friends. We must not allow this terror to divert us. Change progress of civil war by plus 10%. We get royal assassination, which weakens the landowners by 20% and gets disregarded assassination, which makes the landowners angry, minus 5. Or declare a state of national mourning. Oh, I don't want to progress the thing. Oh, no. But I am going to have to do this. So this gets us national mourning for 11 months. This gives us minus 3% throughput. It gives us minus 5% bureaucracy and minus 10% landowners' political strength. But it does make some landowners a little bit more loyalist. And it only progresses the Civil War by 5%. So I'm going to have to do this one. That's not great. All right. So how long? We have 78 days. We're going to get one more tick on this. We're going to get 17.7. That's going to get that up to 90, but it's not going to pass 100. So we should be good to go. Next, we have the moving picture. The acquisition of film recording equipment and establishment of movie theaters throughout the French Empire has led to a fledgling film industry taking root. When she was a young girl, she had once been allowed to borrow a... Oh boy. Phenacastoscope. To borrow a phenacastoscope, and found herself transfixed by the spinning disc, by the dancing couple seemingly turning round and round on it. Years later, she thought it a child's fancy, a simple illusion for a malleable mind. However, As she saw the projection of the train entering the station, she felt herself transported back to that moment. The magic was once again real. Film is the perfect tool to capture the harsh reality of our age that strengthens the rural folk and trade unions and makes them happy. Actuality films. Cinema shall be the frontier of storytelling. This is the same for the intelligentsia and the petite bourgeoisie. Or what political uses could we find for such an evocative medium? This gives us 6.5k progress on mass propaganda. I'm going to strengthen the intelligentsia and petite bourgeoisie. See how that goes. Next we have industrial barriers. We've seen this event before. This is because we got a lot of discriminated pops in Constantine. Factories in Constantine have been reported to be placing Maghrebi people into roles with incredibly poor working conditions owing to their status as second-class citizens in the French Empire. The quote is, I know, us businessmen have a reputation for only caring about the bottom line. That may be true for some, but the way I see it, any venture must be built on a strong foundation of values. The Maghrebi don't understand those values. How could they? Those are our values. This unequal treatment cannot stand. This angers the petite bourgeoisie. Or they're lucky to be given any job at all. This gets a -2 standard of living for Maghrebi pops. Can I tolerate the petite bourgeoisie being unhappy right now? I think I can. I'm going to go with this first one. Alright. That was a lot of events all at once. Let's see what's going on with Dreyfus. The current strength of the case is weak. This would likely result in reincarceration. Since the publication of J'accuse, a growing discord has been threatening to tear the social and political fabric of France asunder. What started as a debate about the innocence of a single man has taken on far greater dimensions. Monarchists pitted against Republicans, liberals against conservatives, and devout Catholics against secularists, all attempting to settle the question once and for all, is our country the France of St. Louis or the France of Voltaire? Will complete if momentum for a retrial is steadily growing in the French Empire, and one is likely to be held in 5 years unless affected by other events. The fate of Dreyfus will depend on the thoroughness of the case built in his support. The Belle Epoque has been completed. Do we have an event? No, we do not. Okay. A case strength of 10 or above will result in total exoneration. A case strength between 5 and 9 will result in a lesser sentence. A case strength of 5 or less will result in re-incarceration. If completed triggers the event, the retrial, the outcome of the retrial will have wider implications for French society. Okay, interesting. We have 2 points of progress, so I'm guessing what's going to happen is we're going to get various events over time that will allow us to affect this in a meaningful way. We'll go ahead with that. We're going to get one more tick in the revolution, so I'm really praying we don't pop off here. All right, Vox Diaboli. In Burgundy, Catholic devotees under Guillaume Fleury-Dubé have called for a violent revolt, with Protestant people scapegoated for their current woes. To be sure, one cannot misinterpret the voice of the people for the voice of God. One should mind that the archenemy knows Scripture better than they do. Indeed, it is these sweet silver-tongued sermons that stoke strife. The cost is invariably a tidal wave of blood. Gag the ringleaders. Can't do this one because it progresses the Civil War by 5%. Post soldiers outside of Protestant congregations. Can't do this one. Okay, well, we're going to have... I don't want a civil war under these circumstances. Okay. This is going to get really gamey. God, I feel like a jerk. Where am I diplomatically? The defensive pacts with Mexico and Haiti. That's not going to help. Oh, this is a big decision. So, because essentially this event... Well, let's... Alright, this is going to be gamey. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let this finish, and if it finishes, it'll be done and we can go on with our other thing, and if not, then I'm going to deal with this civil war. But I think we'll be able to do this, and if not, I'll back off. And we're just going to not make a decision on this event. And then we'll see what happens later. This is kind of gamey, but you know, I want to make this thing happen. I've never actually been in a situation of trying to do any sort of single party state setup, and I'm curious as to how well it works. All right, so we're 2 more weeks here. Oh my god, we're cutting it so freaking close. Again, I know this is gamey. I know I should just sort of let this event go when it goes, but it's... I'm really trying to make this happen. Alright, 5 more days. Come on. We can do it. Whew! Alright. So, the Democratic Alliance. Wow! That's incredible. How? So... Interesting. I don't know how we have a righteous government out of this all of a sudden, but I'm pleased about it. So... We're going to National Militia. Whew. Alright. And hopefully... Alright, so this will progress... Okay. Stop activating and deactivating abilities. Alright, so this will be minus 10% progress at the next checkpoint, and then we'll be able to pop this event. Alright. Well, how fascinating. So now we have an armed forces revolution. That's very curious. With that said, I think we might be able to race, because these are progressing at the same speed as one another, and if we can get lucky, we can pop this before things go sideways. So I'm gonna get a little bit of extra approval from the Catholic Church in this event. All right. Well, everything is kind of wild here, friends. I'm gonna put the armed forces under suppression. I can't pull them into the government because they're insurrectionary. They're very angry here. And there's no way I can do mass conscription because nobody wants it. Nobody who matters in the government wants it more than National Militia. Interesting. All right. Well, we'll just have to fight off our armed forces. Whew. This is a wild time to be in command of France, I have to say. Oh my goodness, we're at the bottom of our construction queue. How's the investment pool? Still going strong. How's unemployment? Employment's gone way up. Curious. Take a look at our track here. Okay, wood's doing a little better. If we went to fully electrified, we're at 13.7k more wood. I'm gonna build more power plants, friends. I don't really have a better idea on how to do this. Oh gosh, please load properly. Let's see. Yeah, we'll do 10 levels in Auvergne-Limousin. Oh my gosh, Burgundy's got a huge mass of unemployed people. Alright. Oh, there's some there. Another 10. 10 levels in Guyenne. And 10 in Lorraine. That should help with our power situation. First, though, let's go ahead and increase some government admin to the new production method. Let me see. How many telephones are we currently producing? 247. Well, wait, actually. How many electrics industries do we have? We have 42. They produce 40 telephones and 40 radios per level. So that's about 1,600 of each. So we can live with about 1,600 government admin. 1,600 telephone cost. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is actually quite cheap for us overall. Alright. I'm not going to flip over the ones in Oran. Let's grab the ones in Picardy, Rhône, and Languedoc. And hopefully that'll help our bureaucracy situation by a little bit. This is wild. This is a freaking race here. We have racing revolutions. On the plus side, when all of this gets done, my infamy is going to be really low. On the plus side, we're going to get 18.5 million more loyalists when we pop this, and hopefully that should reduce this problem somewhat. The people's wealth. A group of revolutionaries have carried out a robbery of a French state bank in Munster. A significant amount of money has been stolen and redirected into the revolutionaries' coffers. A shot rang out, and the marble ceiling was marred with a new crack. The screams of the bank officials accompanied the dust and splinters hitting the floor. In the name of the Revolutionary Executive Committee, I declare everyone under arrest. Hands up, otherwise everyone will be killed. Order increased security around banks across the French Empire. This costs us a tiny amount of cash. Rely upon local rebels to report those suspected of robbery. I'm going to increase security. Seems like the obvious right call. Come on, National Militia. Discord within the intelligentsia. An influential faction within the intelligentsia has grown frustrated with their co-members' neutrality on the topic of national militia. Themselves in favor of the law, they have now resolved to form a separate political faction intent on passing it. How can you all stand idly by and watch the world pass before your eyes? Have you no sense of honor, of duty to your fellow man? I say nay to such lack of ambitions, and I dare say I am not alone in this. With their support, the bill shall pass. The trade unions extend an open hand to these mavericks. So I can make the trade unions stronger. I don't necessarily want to do that. How strong are they right now? 13.4. Okay. Or I can weaken the intelligentsia and make them a lot stronger. I'm going to do more enactment chance. Because I'm up to 80. If I can get 3 successes right away, I can still avert civil war. I think I'll be able to make it there. Gosh, this is a wild situation. Do I have decisions related to the Dreyfus affair? No. Antarctic expedition. That's fun. I'm going to try that. I think that's new content. People's Revolution. Yeah, not necessarily going to do that event. Alright, perfect. NCO training popping off. So if the armed forces revolt, they're going to get... Oh, they're going to get a bunch of territories. But they're not going to get any of the territory abroad. No, not going to deal with you right now, Sardinia Piedmont. I'm going to set up a trade agreement with Austria. So that should get us improving relations a little faster. Prussia, I might be able to get a defensive pact with. We need at least cordial for this to work. But we're going faster now that we've got a trade agreement. Alright. There's NCO training. So let's go ahead and get our barracks on squad infantry. This is going to cost us a lot more, but these are kind of the last word in infantry for the whole mid-game. For the whole mid to late game, really. The street side standoff. Troops in Holland have reported more and more confrontations with belligerent mobs. Fighting will likely break out soon if nothing is ordered. There's only two ways to control the situation. Either pull the troops back or tell them to engage. The soldier shuffled nervously where he stood, shifting the weight of his gun back and forth as he stared at the crowd stirring far too close by. He thought he recognized some of those faces, or would have if they weren't twisted in utter loathing of him and his uniform. What was he even doing? Was he standing with the right people? Order withdrawal from Holland. That'll make their turmoil worse, but 50% chance to decrease civil war, 50% chance to increase it. Or our men are professionals, they can maintain discipline where they are. Higher chance to decrease the civil war progress, lower chance to increase it. I'm going with this one. Yes. Alright, decreased civil war progress. Alright, 80%. If we can get 3 successes in a row, we can still make this happen. The petite bourgeoisie are now trying to preserve professional army, but Jean Badeau, how long until we can exile you? Not long enough for it to matter. Excellent. We're in consideration. So, we got another 68 days. We're going slower now. I don't like that. We do have a righteous government. I'm not sure... Actually, we need to pull another group in. Can't be the rural folk. Can't be the trade unions, obviously. Could be the intelligentsia. So if we can do this, we can get ticking... See, ideally it'd be the petite bourgeoisie, but they're actually opposing my change away from professional army. Because they're Bonapartist. Oh, this is rough. Because if I can get ticking... if I can get down to a middle righteous government, I can get ticking loyalists, and that would be really, really helpful for all this. Oh, no, you know what? I don't need to do that. I can just increase income tax. I can just increase income tax further. Still no, huh? I don't know if this is the right call, but I'm going to pull the intelligentsia into the government. And we'll get these ticking loyalists, and hopefully that'll keep things going. Alright, let's go to the next song. Come on. And hopefully that'll help me get everything squared away, at least in decent order. That's really interesting. I truthfully, I don't know why this happens. 100 legitimacy based on vote. Oh, it's 100 legitimacy based on votes, but it forces all the votes to be for the current ruling party. That's why it works that way. Okay, interesting. So if I can keep pressing down on this revolution. Okay, so radicalism is going down. This is causing radicals, but our ticking loyalists are making it better, are making it easier. So, alright, Tears of the Ivory Tower. An investigation of the university in Picardy has revealed credible evidence of revolutionary activity among the students, aided and abetted by at least some of the faculty. The guilt that we bear is infinitely old, that of the people's oppressors. It is our duty to make amends for such by devoting the whole of our lives, every act we make, to empowering the peasantry. The opinions of the professors are more openly shared here in this basement, thought that young student, but they were no more subversive than they always were. Shutter the university and arrest the faculty. This lowers the Civil War progress by 10%, or there's no proof of these allegations. This advances it by 10%. This is going to cause a mortality increase among academics. It'll cause academic pops to get more radical, and it will reduce the throughput of the university by 85%, but I have to do it. I have to keep this Civil War progress going down. Ooh, one of the Tokugawas was exiled from Japan. That's fun. A pacifist. Neat. Alright, I really want a success here. Oh boy, Austria's claiming New Guinea. Come on, guys. Let's not let everything go sideways in the colonial world here. Actually, in preparation for going to... oh boy, Austria, you need to dial it back. In preparation for things getting weird, I'm going to just put up 5 levels of barracks in basically all my states. That was probably a mistake. Don't have the precision to go and change it right now. Progress to ascent. Beautiful. Alright, we're almost there. We just need one more success. So this will help hopefully keep our military numbers from getting too low. And I'm actually going to... oh boy. There's an event again. Vultures upon a carcass. Opportunistic members of the trade unions have defected to the armed forces' cause. Carrying clothes pluck from the fresh deaths no matter the cause. Some, however, sense when a still living beast is about to die. The creature will wait however long it takes for said meal to die, but better to be the first there with the choicest pick of meat than hoping for scraps. So be it. This makes the armed forces stronger and the trade unions weaker, or try to coax some back. I'm going to do this first one. I don't necessarily... ultimately, the armed forces being strong is still basically okay with me. Alright, so what was I doing? I managed the army... oh, yes. I was going to put... I'm going to put all these up at the top. I'm just going to power through all this military construction It's going to be it's going to go shockingly quickly because barracks build really, really fast. But it's going to mean a lot of clicking. I probably should have queued the power plants back down to the bottom of the queue rather than do this, but I'm not the smartest cat in the world, so now you know why that happened the way it did. So as you can see, these are, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's going to go really fast. And hopefully we'll get a success here, and then we won't have to deal with this revolution anymore, and then we can all just relax and not be about to pop off and go buck wild all the time. Gold has been depleted. Yes, happily the change over to a righteous government and the ticking loyalists brought with it have really brought our number of radicals down, and that in turn is helping this not progress as fast, which is a critical part of what we're doing here. Not to toot my horn too much. Come on, give me National Militia. Give me National Militia, do it. Oh, this is rough. This is rough, friends. 79%. Come on. Come on. Yes! Alright. Fireside chat. Emperor Ferdinand Philippe Bonaparte has decided to use the new and exciting radio technology to connect more directly with the people. It's like he's there in the room with me. It's hard not to be convinced. It should express authority. This gives us a boatload more authority. It should make us look good. This makes the industrialists happier. It should express authority. So, that was wild. Oh my goodness, we've been outpaced by Great Britain for prestige. But we're doing much better financially. Anyway, that is what it is. So, but this is actually the movement for Council Republic, which is curious. So when we flip over to the next week here. Okay, so they're down to extreme, and the reason they're down to extreme is because they've gotten a lot weaker with the changeover to Council Republic. Or, sorry, with the changeover to National Militia. So, what can I do for the armed forces that will make them happy? Strongly opposed laissez-faire. Could go to interventionism. It'll only upset the industrialists a little bit. Because this is a monarchist run. I don't necessarily want to switch over to Council Republic. If I go to Presidential Republic... No, that'll radicalize the petite bourgeoisie, and I can't have that happen. So what else? What else can I change about their current situation? Monarchy, freedom of conscience. What's their stance on... or state atheism? I don't think going to total separation will help enough. So the thing is, though, I really like having the 25% capitalist investment pool contribution efficiency. That's so powerful. On the other hand, it may be the only way to save the Republic. It'll take them down from -17 to -7, and that would buy me a lot of time. On the other hand, this is getting weaker and weaker. I might be able to wait this out until this becomes non-revolutionary. Oh boy, we're still at a crossroads. We haven't completely secured peace in France yet. Oh, this has been a long episode. Actually, I need to cut it here because this episode is getting really long. Friends, I've had a good time. I hope you all have had a good time, and I'll see you on the other side.